All right, guys, morning after. It's like 5 o'clock in the morning, at least with recording this video. Made myself a good roast. Cheers. It's a good roast. Damn, that's really good. I have big concerns with this coaching staff. I have very, very big concerns with this coaching staff. I'm gonna make another video because this video will be too long. But if you watch the live stream a little earlier, I go way in on it. We do have a cultural issue, and we're struggling to find an identity. I'll go into another video discussing about it. But I want to talk about my coaching staff panicking within this football game, and not just this football game. We've seen 4 games. We've had a 4-game sample size of our coaching staff continue to panic in crucial situations. The game management, the game management has been terrible for DeBoer. Clock management has been terrible for DeBoer, but it's not just with DeBoer, it's with the entire coaching staff. We are constantly misaligned in crucial situations. Players are not, these coaches don't really understand how to utilize personnel to the fullest of their ability, and when these players are put in the right positions, they still can't capitalize, so it is what it is. Still can't play assigned football. But I'm watching these coaches panic in real time. I'm watching in situations Nick Sheridan call a pass play when it's third and long, you're backed up on your goal line, and instead of just running the football and trying to kill off the clock, especially when there's not that much time left in the second quarter, you decide to throw the football, especially when South Carolina's running a 3-man rush. Kennard's playing as a spy. They force Mill to roll out because there's backside pressure, and then boom, the rest was history. But the fact of the matter is that the right situation to do was to run the football. There are other times in other situations like DeBoer where he decided to be overly aggressive with 12 seconds left on the clock, third and long. Your offensive line and back-to-back reps were continuing to struggle against a 4-man rush, and then you turn over the football, almost resulting in a pick 6. But 5 points, all were avoidable. All that during halftime. Like, you literally could have went into halftime 7-14. Maybe worst case scenario could have been 10-14. Because South Carolina could have got the ball back as soon as we punted it, and they could have, drove down the football field and at least get 3 points. But the fact of the matter is that you had the lead, and you gave South Carolina 5 free points. Then we had another situation where Jeremy Bernard catches the football, which again, South Carolina calls a timeout. This play came upstairs for Sheridan. Probably DeBoer too, but they talked over this play. They saw something on the football field. It was a well-designed play, but you had enough time to talk to the players in the huddle of saying, "Look, listen, if you we're gonna go for it here. We're gonna go for broke here. Catch the football, kneel it. You kneel it, the game is over." They have no timeouts remaining. We walk out of here. It's 2019. The score's not pretty, but at least we walk out of here with the win. Instead, Jerry Bernard catches the ball, runs to the end zone, and everyone is celebrating, including your coaching staff. So at first I'm thinking to myself, is Jerry Bernard ignoring rules? But then they show a shot of the coaches, right? There's a little bit of a shot of the coaches. And again, I'm watching it from a different, I'm watching it from like a different angle. So I'm watching the game primarily on, SC Network. So there's a different shot where they're showing the coaches and their hands are up and all that stuff like crap like that. Everyone is celebrating. And I'm like, why are we celebrating? We scored a touchdown, yes. But now you just gave South Carolina an opportunity to with a minute and 46 seconds left to drive down the field, score a touchdown, and potentially get the 2-point conversion. That's bad game management. Because why aren't the players? Because again, he caught the ball, I think at the 10-yard line or at the 12, a little farther, maybe even farther back, and he had enough time for him to kneel. So why is he going into the end zone? So either your players are not listening to your instructions, which means that they don't respect you enough to listen to your instructions, or that's purely on coaching because you didn't tell the player to kneel down in that particular. You didn't tell your players what to do in that particular situation. which tells me that my coaching staff continues to panic and quite frankly, shrinks under pressure or they're under massive duress in crucial situations. So this is why situations, and there's a lot that I can go under too. There's the onside kick, like whatever, like there's the onside kick that happened where you had, again, it was a great kick, but you had two opportunities for the players to get the football. Special teams has kind of been a question mark, especially when more of a kick, especially with our kickoff and kick return unit. Then when Damani Jackson picks off the football, and this is towards the end of the game, Damani Jackson picks off the game. Thank God that Malachi Moore has the wherewithal to tell him to literally get off the end zone, because if Malachi Moore wasn't there, Damani Jackson, who is an experienced football player, he is a junior, I believe, catches the ball, and he's about to kneel it in the end zone. He catches it at the 2-yard line, and he's literally about to give South Carolina the easiest 2 points that you ever can imagine, and we're going into overtime. So we made 5 to 6 crucial mistakes in crucial situations where the game is on the line. And all the mistakes were literally avoidable. Thankfully, one of them actually we did avoid. And that was the Damani Jackson returning it back for potentially a safety. But other than that, I'm watching my coaching staff in situations, whether if it's lack of adjustments, whether if it's clock management, I'm watching my coaching staff continue to shrink under duress. This is not the first game this has happened, ladies and gentlemen. The South Florida game, when it was close for 3.5 quarters, what happened? What was the number one complaint? Why are we not changing our personnel, mainly at right tackle, who's struggling? And again, lack of adjustments. What happened during the Georgia game in the second half? Lack of adjustments on the offensive side of the ball, and your defense is primarily on the field for the majority of the game because your offense is getting quick 3 and outs, and your coaching staff refuses to make adjustments on the offensive side of the ball. So I watched that. My coaching staff continued to, and I literally watched my coaching staff or our coaching staff coach scared in that Georgia game in the second half, and it was weird because instead of killing clock, you try to go up tempo, but you're running a lot of conservative plays. It's like you're trying to kill the clock, but at the same time, you're not trying to kill the clock. You have no idea what you're trying to do, which tells me that my coaching staff continues to panic in these moments. So this is not the only sample size that we've seen this. The Vanderbilt game, we've seen it. We have a coaching staff that, quite frankly, they don't know what to do in crucial moments and crucial situations. And this is what I talked about with the DeBoer experience at Washington. This is Washington with Kalen DeBoer. Because in close, tight games, if my offense could not produce, these are the type of games that you would get. Games that, honestly, it should be blowouts, but you're making it way closer than what it actually should be. And this has been Kalen DeBoer's tenure for Washington. Great coach, but the coaching staff continues to falter in these moments. And so this is why I don't blame the players. I don't put all the blame on the players. Yes, are they playing assignment football? No. Are they playing within structure? No. Are they missing a lot of tackles defensively? Are you missing a lot of tackles? You're definitely missing a lot of tackles. But guess what? I can take my players playing bad. I can take my players playing bad because if you're putting these players in the right situations and they just simply can't execute, there's nothing that much you can really do but try to go back into the lab and try to work on a few things to fix it out. I can understand that. I can take it because that's fixable. That's something that I can fix. And if the players can't execute, then guess what I'm doing? I'm switching out personnel and I'm putting somebody in there who can execute, who's willing to take that opportunity, willing to take that chance. But if my coaches are shrinking under duress and they're not putting these players in the right situations, there's a misuse of personnel. We don't know how to manage a game clock. My head coach doesn't know how to manage a game clock. He doesn't know how to play situational football and when to be aggressive and when to be conservative. Now we have a problem. Because that's the basic shit. That's something that you should automatically get down right away. That's something coming into Alabama. That's the one area that everybody was extremely confident in, was that the coaching staff Maybe not, again, Kevin Steele compared to Womack, we all know that's a downgrade. But we expect Sheridan compared to Tommy Reese to be a massive upgrade. And in certain spots, it has been an upgrade. But there's not enough. My coaching staff has arguably been the weak spot of my football team. And that's crazy because the players have also been in a situation, the weak spot. I have no idea what the strength of this team is. It seems like it may be that the only strength of your football team is, quite frankly, Ryan Williams. Because it's not my coaching staff. It's not my players. It's not my players on the defensive side of the ball. On the offense, it just seems like my only two special weapons are Jalen Miro and Ryan Williams. And that's a problem. Because nobody else scares anybody. So, again, it's bad enough that my players can't execute, but my coaches are shrinking under pressure by not putting these players in the right situations in crucial moments. This is why next video, ladies and gentlemen, it's a cultural issue. It goes back to culture. And it goes back to what you do, preparation leading up to the game that matters. This is why Nick Saban always talked about how paying close to attention to detail, why that matters. Why attention to detail and focusing on the little things instead of going big matters most. And that's my number one concern with this football team is that we don't focus on the little things. And if we can't get the basic things about this sport right, then why should me or any other Bama fan have faith in this football team that they're going to win a lot of football, that they're going to compete for a national championship? I still think Bama can win a lot of games. Do I think this team is going to go ahead and win a national championship? No, because they haven't shown me that they have the capability of doing it. And no, a first half of football is not going to convince me otherwise. I've seen 4 games of not just my players panicking in these moments. I've seen 4 games where my coaches are panicking in these moments. And until we get that fixed, ladies and gentlemen, we're not going to be going anywhere as a football program.